programs. Welcome back to ArcNeo Reviews. Welcome to day 5 of Thanksgiving, Black Friday. um, so today we're actually going to dive back into something that I've not spent a lot of time looking at lately. Though to be fair, I've only even been making videos again for 2 weeks now. But we are actually going to go ahead and take a look at the studio series Brawl. And this is a figure I really, really wanted. I did actually miss out on him, but managed to get him from my buddy Zachamus. And this guy was everything I hoped he would be. So as you can see, we have a very, very green tank. Again, the camera makes the colors look... It makes this look bluer than it is in real life. It's funny, this looks the same color camera in real life. This one, it's not as blue. I will never understand how that works. But we have the big spiky tank. You've got these little pieces in the front that I've never been 100% sure if they're supposed to be angled down or just straight out or what. Put them wherever you think they should go. You have way, way too many blasters on top of the turret. We will go ahead and remove the two obvious robot weapons. You've got his big, crazy blaster thing and his Wolverine claw, which itself actually has another smaller piece you can take out of it. Yeah. The insanity with this figure is very, very real. But popping those off, we have a slightly more reasonable looking tank mode. He does have little rolling wheels. Shockingly high amount of our tanks we have looked at for Thanksgiving have not had wheels. This guy does. He has a sort of... Never mind. My head, I remembered his turret moving. That's the really, really big version of this guy that I've never looked at. This one, the turret is actually locked in place. So, I mean, you can kind of unpeg the upper turret and make it rotate on its own. It's not the same. We're popping that back on. Hey, you move the little missile pods on the back. It's a tank. It's a lump of a thing. It looks pretty neat, despite the non-rotating turret. Transformation on this guy is pretty neat, actually. The transformation on this guy is why I am actually so glad to have him. I'm going to go ahead and start by grabbing just the upper part of these panels and folding these down all the way. Then take these pieces, rotate them up. Rotate what is now becoming very clearly the legs forward a little bit so we can split the legs. Got a slot here, tab there. Fold the foot down, tab that in. On this foot in particular, take this big oversized tab and just fold it back like that. This side you don't have that, so just bring back the foot and tab it in. Then rotate the legs into place. And we'll go ahead and get started on the upper body. And the upper body on this guy is crazy. I love it, actually. So I'm going to start by taking these little actually no, we're not going to touch the turret sections. First, we're going to start by taking this front section here, folding it down. These two tabs are tabbing in up there. So we'll bring this down on a double hinge. Really quickly, also rotate these spikes to the side and bring these all the way down. Bring this piece all the way down like that. Then bring this piece back up a little bit and rotate the head forward. You'll see a little tab right here that will slot in back there. But before we bring that back, we want to make sure we've got these down all the way, and then open these side panels up, and then bring all this back. And eventually things will come back to tab in there, but first we have to deal with the turret. Turret on this guy's really neat. So start by taking this piece, bringing it up, spinning it around. Go ahead and bring these sections down as well. You've got little slots that are sliding up here. They will thoop into place there. Come to the spot right here beside the main turret, and that is where everything will start to just open up like this. The arms are one of those things that will basically just take care of themselves while you just pull them out. But go ahead and now take all of this black section. This is the part that had me thinking the turret rotated, by the way. It technically does for transformation. But spin this all the way around. Take these tread sections here and actually shift them back. And then this piece will come in and slot in right there. Like so. Orient the arm. Same thing over here. Bring this back. Slot that in. Arm. Orient. Come back here. Take this piece now. Bring this back down. Everything will slot in and lock into place. Now that these have been rotated back, you can actually take that little tab behind the head and tab that in. Rotate these around and just kind of straighten these out. Fold them down. And there you've got Brawl. You've got Brawl in his robot mode. I have always gotten this guy in Brawn backwards. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. Their names are one letter off, and they're both just green angry guys. But bring this guy in close. That face will never not remind me of The Fly, like the 80s version of The Fly. That looks like that is the fully evolved Brindlefly right there. That is one of the ugliest Decepticon faces, which is saying a lot for how ugly the Michael Bay Decepticons were. This guy still ends up being probably the ugliest of them. Posability on him is pretty good. The head is, it feels like it's on a ball joint, but you are still mostly going to be getting rotation out of it more than anything else. Doesn't have a little up and down, but that's it. The arms are built weird, but they do result in really good posability. Especially since you've got, that going on there. Rotation and the bicep. 90-degree bend at the elbow. Nothing at the wrist because of how the hands are just kind of buried in there. No waist rotation. Not too big of a shock given how many things fold down and clip in and everything. But he kicks forward. He kicks back. He does the splits. I can untab things. Rotation just above the knee. Not quite 90-degree bend at the knee. Did I knock you loose, or I just didn't get you pegged back in? Worth noting with these pieces, I forgot to mention, there's a little tab right here, a little slot right there, so squeeze them up a little bit, and then they'll actually hold in place. I always forget to do that part the first time around. Then nothing at the feet because of how everything locks in there. Yeah, not the most posable guy. He does end up being one of those Studio Series figures where they sacrifice posability for screen accuracy. I can live with that. He is pretty cool. I still love the way he looks, though. I think he was bigger in the movie than he is here, which is weird because I thought the whole point of the Studio Series was to have him like accurately sized and everything. I don't know. I don't really care all that much. You can give him his weapons in one of two ways. Obviously, he can hold them, or he has these really, really deep sockets on the outside of his arms. So even though these have really long handles on them, things will slot down and like almost go completely flush when you use those. So I usually just put that one on the wrist and then put this one in his hand. Yeah, this is one of those crazy, like, you know, butt ugly Martian live action Decepticons. And I absolutely love that about him. The transformation is really cool in my opinion. If I remember right, this guy's a deluxe class. He's just like a really big, chunky deluxe, which makes him even cooler. Even if I'm remembering wrong and he's a Voyager, he's still great. Yes, I wish he had, you know, some ankles would be really cool. A waist joint, yeah, that probably could be neat for a few poses. There's not much to complain about with this guy, though, to be honest. I still think he's really cool. He's the most real-world tank that we've looked at in all of Thanksgiving. He's a lot of fun. I'm glad that I finally got him. If you see this guy for a decent price, definitely worth checking out. So, all that said, thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.